I think if I hear you call me Becky one more time, six-pack, I'm gonna pop your tops. All six of them.
Who are you?
Hey, this is Matt once again. Welcome back to another review, and this is another Patreon review, this time from Juan. Thank you so much for that. And first off, if anyone's ever interested in requesting pretty much any type of video, you just send the request either directly to my PayPal or join me on my Patreon. Both links are down below in the info box. But this time he wanted me to talk about Dredd, which is a pleasure. Because this is a film that I still love. It still holds up. I saw this in the theater. In fact, the videos might be up where I came back from the theater and talked about how I loved it. It was great. And I think I even did a second video. Again, I don't know if it's still up. But it's like, why is this film bombing? What the fuck? It was a great time in the theater. It was in 3D with Sally. I think that's what hurt it. The 3D was fantastic. As a viewing experience, I'm glad I saw it in 3D. But for the general audience, when you make that the only option, it hurts because people are like, well, I don't want to pay this extra money to see it in 3D. Just with Dredd, they either remember Stallone's Judge Dredd, which was a misfire. I'm sorry, I love Stallone, but Judge Dredd was a bad movie. When I did my Stallone marathon, I reviewed Judge Dredd, and it has some nice notes of production value, score, the effects, but there's a lot of problems with that movie, a lot. One of Stallone's biggest missed opportunities, because that should have been great and it wasn't. And sadly, Stallone is part of it because he gives one of his weaker performances. No, you should have been like Cobra the entire time. In fact, Cobra is your audition for Judge Dredd. Just who's Cobra? Judge, jury, and executioner. You watch what Cobra does, that's what Judge Dredd does. Look at the whole finale of Cobra. When he's judging all these fucking people. That's what he's doing. He kills fucking more people in that movie than he did in Judge Dredd. But anyway, this did it much better. People say it's a ripoff of The Raid, but the thing is, this was in production, I think, before The Raid. Like, this was already in process before The Raid was made. It took longer because of the effects and the CG and working in 3D. And then apparently there were problems in post-production because it says Pete Travis directed it, but apparently other people say, no, it was really Alex Garland. Alex Garland would go on to direct Annihilation, Ex Machina. I think even Karl Urban said, no, Alex Garland was the real director. Which on one hand, I'm going, well, how come he hasn't made another movie worth a shit? Because those other movies I don't fucking like. I don't like Annihilation. I don't like Ex Machina. I'm sorry, I don't. But I really like this film. But then Pete Travis, he did Vantage Point, which I really enjoy. With Dennis Quaid, I like Vantage Point. So Peter Travis had to have done something. Like, he had to have done something. If somehow I could talk to to Travis, I would love to know, like, what is yours? So the fact that he's kind of just pushed entirely to the side, I think that's unfair. I would like to know the whole truth, the whole story. So, but regardless who really directed it, maybe a bit of both, it took simplicity and used it effectively. And you know what? Sometimes that's the best course of action. Like I said, people say, oh, it's a rip-off of the Raid and the Raid Redemption. Again, it was in the process of making it before that happened, so it's not the case. Karl Urban, great choice for Dredd. Never takes off the helmet, the look of him. Karl Urban had the voice down. This is how you do the Christian Bale Batman voice well. More State Plissken, less Christian Bale Batman. Mama's not the law. I'm the law. You ready, Wookie? You look ready. And no one is going to say it, but there has to be some Cobra, something with Cobra, because the opening where he's with the guy, I don't know, that did remind me a little bit of Cobra with the supermarket. Only here, it's not the exact same, but I don't know, just maybe I'm reaching. But you have the backstory of the mega cities and what's going on, and I think it's a good looking film. I do think the look of the film holds up fairly well. I like the way the city looked. I like the way this environment looked. I would love to have seen sequels. Or remember when they said, we're going to do a Netflix show. Yeah, that never happened. To see more of this world. The more of these blocks and more of this environment that we're introduced to. And again, the look of the suit. Karl Urban's voice. The fact he never takes off the helmet. Then he gets his rookie. I thought she did a good job. Anderson, who's the psychic, she was not. Does he go, oh God, man, I just want Dredd by himself. Why does he need a partner? But she did a good job. She was capable. She could stand her own. She wasn't annoying. She wasn't irritating. She wasn't a flaw in the design of the movie. She wasn't a grievance. She wasn't in the way. She was a good. She complemented the movie very well. And her interactions with Dredd were fairly solid. I bought it. And her psychic visions had some very interesting visual touches. And then Dredd is a total fucking badass. Yeah, I heard you, hotshot. What? I said hotshot. And shoots a flare into a guy's fucking mouth. Lena Headey as the villain, she actually worked well. The fact they have her starred up, and she seems particularly nasty and bitchy, but not annoyingly bitchy, and hardcore villains are ready to skin people and throw them so they fall fucking story upon stories down to be a bloody pile in the fucking lobby. It's R-rated. It doesn't shy away from the R rating. It was great to see this stuff in 3D in the theater. And people are like, well, I thought the posters are fantastic. Dredd looks cool. But I guess if you don't... I didn't read Judge Dredd comics. I only knew of him of the fucking movie, which I didn't like with Stallone, and I'm a big Stallone fan. Not lately, but I reviewed almost all of his movies, and a lot of them I enjoyed. Judge Dredd, not one of them. But again, I didn't grow up with the comics. I know they inspired the writers of RoboCop when they made RoboCop, with the satire and even the look of Dredd with the visor. but it's still, the poster looked cool, and people don't like the trailers. I love the trailer. Like, I saw the trailer to this and I was gung-ho and wanted to see it. So I looked at the trailer and I'm like, I like that trailer. I don't really get why people hated the trailer. It set up the plot. I'm like, oh wow, they're only in this one building. They gotta go up like a video game to the top. Well, not exactly the top, but higher and higher. These bad guys coming out of the woodwork. I like the music used in the trailer, so it sold me, but apparently I'm one of the only people, because not many people saw this in the theater. That pisses me off. It pisses me off that bullshit movies upon bullshit movies get the fucking goddamn box office. And then it makes me go, where the fuck were you with Dredd? Where the fuck were you with Shoot 'em Up? Where the fuck were you with... But that's not really fair. Because there's a lot of stuff. There's trailers that look good and the movie turns out bad. There's trailers that look bad but the movie turns out good. There's finances. There's life itself. There's, oh, I don't want to pay for a 3D price. Why don't they just put in 2D? I think that would have helped if they gave people the option. Giving people the option for a 2D, I think, would have helped a lot. But the movie itself, it goes at a good pace. I love the look of the film. Like, Karl Urban's a badass. The action set pieces, him avoiding all these fucking Gatling guns that's destroying the entire fucking floor, and Dredd's just barely getting ahead of it. We don't have to go through them. Using stun grenades, using the lawgiver, and using either flares or... what did he call it? Explosives. But he used a different word, a different phrase for it. And he blows up a guy's fucking head up. Just the action scenes. Of course, me being an action junkie, I'm always open for more action scenes. I'm always a sucker, like, I want more action. I love action that much. So of course I'll say, yeah, I would love to have seen more action. I would love to see more Dredd just fucking people up. And that's why I would like to see a sequel. Because you look at John Wick, and then you look how much they amped it up for John Wick 2 and 3. That could have been for Dredd. Like, you have Dredd. Imagine what they could have amped up for Dredd 2 and Dredd 3. And we didn't get it. And that sucks. But yeah, I like the action, I like the look, I like the aesthetic. The score, at times, has a little bit of a John Carpenter vibe to the score, which I love and appreciate. Then the actors did their jobs well. The girl who played Anderson, she was likable. Dialogue changes. Mama's not the law. I'm the law. Or, this is a negotiation. The sentence is death. Like, this is how you play it. And Stallone played that well in the beginning. Like, when Stallone had the visor on, his acting was perfect as Dredd. But then when he took the visor off, it's like the acting just went with the fucking visor. Like, when he took the visor, he took the acting, he put it in a paper bag, put it in there, and put it in the locker. Because then after that, you betray the law! I am the law! It just, what the fuck? But anyway, this is one of those movies that just kicks ass. It kicks fucking ass. The way Mama gets it, to me, is satisfying. The whole slow-mo drug creates some interesting action where Dredd and his partner go in and they shoot. It's all done in slow motion. You see bullets slowly flying through cheeks, and yeah, it looked really cool in 3D. It loses some of its impact at home because you don't have the 3D aspect, so then you're just noticing that it's a bit CGI, which would have been nice to see that practical in retrospect. But I still really enjoy the scene. The fact that you got bad judges in there too. I remember seeing in the theater and being surprised by that. Granted, maybe I shouldn't have, but I remember, oh shit, yeah, now he's going to fight other judges? That's cool. And fucks their day up. He fucks one guy's neck up. Blows a guy's fucking head up. I remember that being like, oh shit, in the theater. And I thought it stuck the landing. It stuck the landing where it was a satisfying finale. Wanted to see what was next for these two characters, Dredd and Anderson. You ready, rookie? You look ready. And maybe in a sequel you could have even been more stylized with the shootouts, or that even, it seemed as if they had a budget, and if this was a huge success they would have given more money so you could finesse the budget and the effects even more, and you could do more elaborate sequences. But that's not the case. A good example of that with the John Wick films. And it's a fucking shame we lost out on that. And now it's been 8 years. 8 fucking years. 8 years. You know what, I'm curious. What films were successful in 2012? Let me look at the box office. I'm sorry. I gotta look at this. How much did Dredd make? Sorry, I just curious about this. Dredd made 13 million in the US. 13 million. 27 million international, 41 million worldwide. 41 million worldwide. 13 million in the US. 13 million. Okay, let me look at domestic box office for 2012. All the movies that made more than Dredd. And it's 13 million. Well, I don't even know where it would be on this fucking list. 13 million. It would be 137. Let's see. What films made more money? Let's look at this. Let's do this little test. Why not? Fuck it. Oh, Lockout. That piece of shit made 14 million. That ripoff of A Thief in New York that even John Carpenter won a lawsuit that's how much it ripped off A Thief in New York. Oh, Haywire, that boring as hell film. 18 million. Most of these films I never even heard of. Like, look at it. 2016 Obama's America. I never even heard of this fucking thing, and it made 33 million. House at the End of the Street. A lazy, shitty horror film that made 31 million. The Pirates. Band of Misfits. What is that? I don't fucking know. Some Sony picture animation film that no one else has ever fucking heard of, but it made... It was still a flop, but it's still 30... Fuck. That's My Boy, 36 million. Cabin in the Woods, 42 million. Oh, great. Oh, Resident Evil, 15, 42 million. The 3D re-release of Episode 1, The Phantom Menace, made 43 million, but I thought everyone hated it. The remake of Red Dawn made 43 million. The remake of Red Dawn. The remake of Red Dawn made 50 million worldwide, 44 million in the US. 44 million in the US. Made more than Dredd. Hell, it made as much in its US than Dredd did worldwide. In fact, how much did Dredd make worldwide? Again. I'm just curious. No, it did. 41 million worldwide Dredd. Red Dawn, 44 million in the US alone. So, yeah, Red Dawn remake did better than Dredd. It made more money in the US alone than Dredd did in its entire fucking world. I mean, The Devil Inside My Ass, 53 million. Devil Inside My Ass, 53 million. In January, by the way. Because remember, January is the dead month? Well, Devil Inside made 53 million. 53. Total Recall remake, 58. Contraband with fucking Marky Mark, 66. Think Like a Man, 91 million. All you Think Like a Man fans. Whew. God damn, man. You gotta be shitting me with this. And some of this shit I've never even fucking heard of. What? The Possession. What the fuck is The Possession? 49 million. The Best Exotic Marigold Hotel. 46 million. Don't even know what the fuck that is. Unfucking believable, man. Sorry, I know I went off tangent, but people wonder why I'm so goddamn cynical about movies today. A film that has solid production values for its budget, badass lead, well played by Karl Urban, who had the right voice, body language, the aesthetics, the look, the suits, the costumes, the look of the block, the location that they're at, the action set pieces, the Gatling gun sequence, the slow-mo sequence, the visions that when Anderson goes into certain people's heads. Yeah, consistent good pace, pretty decent score, at times a synthesizer John Carpenter vibe, kick-ass action. Well, I have more action, of course. This shit happens. Fucking ridiculous. Fucking ridiculous. So, I mean, Dredd, now people like it. Too fucking late for that. Pisses me off. But hey, I can say at least I saw it in the theater. Had a great time in the theater. Still remember having a great time in the theater. It's a badass movie. Easily one of the best action films in the past 20 years. If I had a list of action films in the past 20 years, Dredd would be high up that list. Because it did what its job is supposed to do. Entertain me, got my adrenaline pumping, pulled me into its world, had a badass lead, good supporting characters, if not deep, then at least with personality enough for me to be interested or intrigued or wonder what's going to happen next. Well made for what it's supposed to be, and deliver the audience satisfaction that they want, which should be the bottom line. But you'd be surprised how many movies miss that mark. So Dredd, badass movie, still holds up. We'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.